Hello, Sagittarius. This is Christelle here, and I'm here with the general monthly reading. You've seen the moon cycle love readings, and I mentioned I'll be coming back for the general readings. And here I am. So, what am I doing here? I'm going to have the reading done with Lenormand cards, as you saw in the titled Mini Grand Tableau. And those of you who've been with me for a long time know that I use the Lenormand deck, which is a 36 card oracle deck, at the end of the year in December to do a looking forward to the new year coming up. And I do a mini grand tableau, which means instead of the 36 large grand tableau using all the cards, I take the inner square and make it up. You know, it's a mini that I have made up. So let's take a look at what's in store for you. Ooh. And I'll show you these cards, Sagittarius. There you go. Now let me show you. We have in the first position, we have the man. Then we have the key. The crossroads or paths. Then we have the ring here, you can see in the beak of the bird. The ring. The coffin. Beautiful mystic deck this is. The mountain. The sun. The cross. The stars. The dog. The birds. The garden, and 4 more on the bottom. The moon, the anchor, the clover, and the fox. The fox. Okay, look, I'm going to talk about each individual week. I know there are 31 days in July, so that will be give or take a day or two either way. Now, the first week is looking very, very interesting for you, Sagittarius. Look, there is a key person in your life, a key man in your life that is going to put you in a position of making a decision in terms of whether you want to partner up. And this could be in business or a romantic or emotional bond, but it could be and not only either or. I'm looking at a situation where that particular person, and this is a man, I'm seeing that as a man. This particular person has undergone some difficult times in relation to things that are no longer in his life, and people who have left his life, jobs that he no longer does. He's closed the door on something that is no longer in his life, and he's looking for a way to follow his heart, to follow his soul's journey is what it is. He's looking to do something with his soul that he has never done before, and in the same token, I'm saying that this is a person that you know intimately. It's as if they are close to you because either they're a family member or a lover or a business partner or a co-worker, but you know their story and you feel for them. Okay, this is in the first week. You communicate with them very closely. Now, matters relating to something that is completely off your off your radar. You are no longer, for example, maybe you did some kind of a brief stint, 3 or 4 years as a graphics designer, and you're no longer doing that because now you're doing something else. Well, that's going to come back. This things that you have left behind will be coming back to you in a very nice way. You'll be thinking about them. Oh, those were the days. I remember when. I remember this, and I remember that. But then you will just take, in Italian we say, you get a big boulder and you put a rock on it, and that's it. It's over. It's just something of the past. But it also is something very key to your life, because it has made you that particular moment in your life when you were involved with certain activities and with certain people made a great change for you. It's taught you how it's taught you what it means to be faithful and trustworthy, and because you experienced a lack of faith in relation to someone else. They were not trustworthy, and that has taught you a very important life lesson, and it's grounded you, really. It's grounded you and made you feel that now you are ready, that then, we're talking about the past, then you were ready to face your future life. Then you would be ready to move on and create a life for yourself. Now, the third week talks about, again, a notion about who you can trust, who you cannot trust. And that is especially when you are investing in something, Sagittarius, or not even just investing, putting money. When I say invest, I mean putting money into something. You want to buy a car, but it's a car that is more expensive. Well, that will be an investment because it has to last, This is what you're thinking. Well, in terms of that, you are a little agitated. You do become a little nervous because you feel you just fearful. You're afraid because it's money going out. And what I'm seeing is you're aided in something like that. You're calmed down. You're counseled. You're given suggestions from people that you meet in public, when you are out there, when you talk to people, even that you don't know, or you see a car on the street that's similar to the one that you want, and you just move up and go and say, hey, I was thinking of how does that work? Do you like the way it works, this car? And so you're communicative in that way, but it does border on anxiety, so you have to be careful in that third week. And so the third week also implies decisions now. Decisions that will rock you a little bit, because again, it's putting the stress on you a little bit. So that third week is about stress. It looks like to me that the stress is there, but it is so much worth it, because the end of that third week is when I've done well. Now I can take a vacation. Now I can do this. Now I can do that. I covered all my bases. And even if I, was anxiety ridden for 3 or 4 days, okay, so what? So now the fourth week is probably the week that is sort of kind of interesting, an interesting sort of week that because it's intriguing. Okay, I see, you have a situation at home, you have a companionship, you have a love in your life that's very stable and has brought you such joy, that for those of you who have this situation, it's as if they are your partner in crime. This is the fourth week, and this is the way you feel. You have someone next to you that is trustworthy, and you can count on them. And all in all, you have made the decision, for those of you who are partnered up like that, you had made the decision to become serious about the relationship, even married. But there is also solace in the fact that when you have to go through difficult times, when you get such terrible news, that person next to you knows how to handle you, knows how to work their magic, and it is all around about magic. I see you again. I think this must be the third or fourth month that I mentioned about work. Somebody's, you're getting made an offer offer. I see that even in July, the tail end. It looks as though either where you're working now, they offer you to go up a ladder of success, or that someone heard about the type of work you do, friend of a friend of a friend, and they call you and say, come on in for an interview. We need somebody with your expertise, something like that. It's the very tail end. Now, I've divvied up the reading into different areas and domains, and what I'm seeing at endings and beginnings in your life, it involves a person, a male in your life. Endings and beginnings, it could be a person who's going abroad and you won't see them again, and then on the other hand, you meet their brother who moves to the city where you are, and that's a new beginning with a new friendship. So there's this ending and beginning. Something like that. And surprises. This is a key element in the month. There's surprises are when you least expect it. Okay. So this is going to really brighten your days because you're thinking of other things. You've got your head in the clouds. You've got your head in money matters, serious things. And but then you get surprised, which is so lovely. Now, in terms of things ending, you will no longer feel the stress of having to make, with the month of July, you will no longer feel the stress of the burden of having to make a decision because you've made so many decisions that now you can rest on your laurels. Oral communication will be spent around matters of a partnership, whether it is a partnership of business, of a project, even just getting together with someone, co-worker or a friend to work on a specific project. That is going to be done with oral communication. I have here your work and your livelihood. Well, you put you put an end to something that you're working on. It's as if you've come to the end of a cycle, an end to a project that you were working on. Well, that ends in your work and your livelihood. Your sense of security. There is anxiety around that, a little bit of anxiety around that because, maybe it's because of the money that is going out, or maybe it's because you feel like you're in a wheel of, I have to get that and I have to go that and I have to, and you're in the rat race, that old, the 60s term, the rat race. And so there is a little anxiety, but you get over it. And again, this reading tells you, look, Sagittarius, you need to bring that spiritual energy into your life. Bring that spiritual energy into your life. Bring that spiritual energy into your life 3 times, I'm saying it. Guidance is key. You get guidance everywhere you turn. Every time you open your mouth, they give you suggestions, what you really need to know. It's a gift of gab this month, Sagittarius. You with your mouth, you get all of the answers, your conversations with people. Home. Going back home. Well, that's fundamental this month. You want to go back to a place you grew up. You want to go back to a place. I mean, maybe this is the anxiety that's emerging because you want so much to get there. You want to be there. You want to be there already. Okay. Public life. In the public life, like I said, it's the place where you get most guidance. You're out in the public, you talk to people, and it's like magic. Everyone tells you things you really need to know. And the obstacles. Remember I said the obstacles you get around the sense of security. That's an obstacle for you. Well, you're faithful to the notion of there is a higher power. But you forget. You are so busy with this tran, they say in Italian, this tran every day, that you forget that there's that spiritual component that's so important to you, Sagittarius. Decisions that you're going to have to make, even though I said there was an ending to the decisions and it would be ending with the month of July, those decisions that you have to make in July are going to riddle you with anxiety. And so the end of the month is so looked after because it ends then. Then we have these nuisances and problems. All right, you have nuisances and problems that emerge there where you get all of the suggestions and consultants and counseling from people on the street, even in the public, that's also where their nuisances arise. For example, you're out in the public, you rent a car, you have a car, you're traveling, and then you stop, you talk to people, and it's wonderful. Then you look at your car and it has a flat tire. Okay, so you'll watch out for that. Then we have these hidden things from you. There's not much being hidden from you, Sagittarius, because are you're fundamentally loved, you're fundamentally in love, and you're fundamentally faithful and trusting in that love, which is beautiful. Then we have the notion of your being grounded, your work, your stability, and that has to do with matters of written communication. So remember that. A male influence in your life is going to be very beneficial and very lucky to you. If you have to have someone help you, go to a male. That could even be a relative. I'm seeing here a female influence is going to be a little more sly. If there's a woman involved, she may not be straightforward with you. She may have her own agenda, so you might want to be watch your back with that. Now I'm going to cast the runes and see what they add to the readings, Sagittarius. Okay, what a beautiful rune. Right off, right in the middle, I see this Wunyo, joy, happiness. Wunyo is a lovely, it's one of the loveliest runes to be in the reading, a positive outcome. And it has to do with the way you love, your affections, around that love that you give and the love that you receive. We have Lagas Lagus Merkstave, and this is always a problem when I see that, because it's intuitive knowledge, which you are lacking the month. It's Merkstave, upside down, that you're lacking this month of July. And so much so that I mentioned before, open that door to spirituality, because you forget to look up. You forget to go seek out the answers through our guides, through your guides. I see here also Nahagal Hagalas, and that speaks to delays. It speaks to delays that are out of your control. For some things, some areas of your life, and it has to do with work as well. That is all about work. I'm seeing here Awats. Awatch is a powerful ally. Please be informed, Sagittarius, that you are protected the month of July. We have Anzus. Anzus is oral communication. And this is where you shine. You shine in the public. You shine in the public and speaking to people. Björk Berkana, this is a birth. This could be the beginning of a project. Like I did say, for those of you who are waiting to get pregnant, this might be the seed that makes it through. This is the month perhaps that will help you with that. It is the beginning. And what I'm seeing is that project with a certain partner, with a person. Othala is possessions. They are possessions, things that money can buy. Again, there is this notion of having to spend money that is going out, a little bit of anxiety, but it seems that you are consumed by that instead of consumed by a vision or an ideal. And the runes say, look, Sagittarius, it's not the object. It's not things that money can buy. It is the vision that we need to keep right up there, our ideals. Good for you, Sagittarius. Have a happy July, and celebrate. For me, celebrate July 4th. If you celebrate that, have it go out with a bang. Write your stories underneath the video and let's exchange our stories. It's so interesting to have and read other people's stories. Bye-bye and namaste until we read together again.